Hey guys and girls, RetroDanno here. I'm having to stay at my girlfriend Lindsay's a lot. You may have seen her in my Gaming with a Girlfriend videos. Because unfortunately my car's been written off in an accident about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it means I've got less time to do any kind of YouTubing or video work per se. But last week I did get around to recording a few videos. I had to separate into 4 parts in the end, but it basically shows how I make music using such an old, I guess some people describe it as primitive piece of software for the PS2 called Music 3000. You can also get this on PC as well. Well, I've always had the PS2 version. I bought it pre-owned from, I think I got it from Game Station remember them? I got it from Game Station when they were open back in Stafford. Way back in about 2004, about a year after this came out, and I got it pre-owned, but it's always worked great, and it's been the game I've used most in my PS2, believe it or not. I've got about 5 or 6 memory cards full of music that I've made over the last decade or so, most of it from the Sonic franchise, but I've made songs from other games as well. But I thought what I'd do in the meantime, because I'm currently trying to get around to writing a few scripts for some videos I'd like to do in the future. I was recording some footage last night actually for a series I want to do on Sonic Jam for the Sega Saturn, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It's not just going to be a let's play, it's going to be like, you know, scripted, and hopefully some other things put in there as well to make things a bit more interesting, hopefully. But in the meantime, I've done a 4-part mini-series here on how I actually make a song using Music 3000. Now, people have always described my music, well, talent if you like. I'm not a big head, I don't, you know, I'm pretty modest about a lot of the stuff I do. You know, I wouldn't go that far, but people have described it as being able to, well, by ear. Those are the 2 words, by ear. Where I just listen to a piece of music that I like, and then I just try and recreate it or try and play it on the keyboard, which I can do, kind of. You know, I've always been a big fan of music creation. I've always enjoyed doing it, composing and stuff. And I get a lot of people say to me, "Why don't you use FL Studio, Fruity Loops?" And you know, it's not because I've never used that program before. I have. It's just I need time to be able to get around to learning how that works, and I just haven't had that time. So you know, but you know, I'm RetroDanno, so I'm gonna use old stuff instead. So yeah, I'm gonna. So this is gonna be a little 4-part mini-series on me making a Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1, which I know is probably the most overdone song ever when people create music. Myself included, but it's a song that everybody knows, everybody recognises pretty much. A lot of people that have played video games have probably played Sonic 1, so you know, I just thought I'd use that. And plus, if I tried to make any other song, these videos would probably be a lot longer, so I tried to keep things as short as possible, even though I have to split it into 4 parts. Maybe contradicting myself there, but never mind. So, you know, it's a little insight on how I make my music. I basically just use my own knowledge of how the song sounds, from the melody to the bass to the drums, etc. And just half from memory, half from getting references from the games themselves or pieces of music. Piece it together in Music 3000 from scratch using riff editors. So here's some videos showing how I do that. So enjoy. They're not all going to be altogether that entertaining, but hopefully it gives people who've asked me the question over the years how I make my music, that it'll show them how I do that. So let's get on with the show, and thanks for watching. Okay then, so let us begin. So as I said, I usually go ahead and make and listen to a song first, you know, just to get an idea of how the bass sounds, the drums, the melody, etc. So that I kind of know in my head how I'm going to piece it together. Most of the songs I make tend to be, you know, 4/4 scale. So yeah, it's just the easiest ones. But I've made a couple before that have been like 3/4. So obviously you've got all your main different, you know, samples. You got blue, which is drums, bass, melody and vocal, but I don't tend to use vocal. None of them seem to fit anything that I make anyway, so but yeah, I'll go ahead and listen to a song, you know, get an idea of how it sounds in my head, and then I'll try and make it on here from scratch, which sounds difficult in theory, but you know, I've been doing this for a number of years now, so you know, it's kind of not too hard for me, and sometimes, you know, it's quite a decent adrenaline rush when you get it right. You know, that's about as exciting as it gets. So I'm going to make a bog standard Green Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 1, because it's the first song I ever made. It's a song I know most well, and it's also a song that everybody else recognises, so they'll be able to, you know, listen to it and think, oh yeah, it does sound like Green Hill. So I'm going to start with the intro section, and I'm going to start with the bass. And my favourite bass instrument is, in fact I'm in the wrong thing, I have to click on here first, so that I enter the riff editor. So this is where you make all your own, you know, riff samples. So we'll go to bass, and my favourite is under synth. I do like a bit of synth. It's called Warming On, I believe. Yeah, that one. That's the one I tend to use. You can press start to listen to them as well, so that's how Warming On sounds. That's my favourite bass instrument that I use for a lot of my songs. It just has a nice, you know, sound to it. Let's see. Green Hill Zone starts obviously with the and then goes off into the intro. Please excuse my terrible singing. You may be hearing a fair amount of it during this video. I'm trying to do this as quick as possible, so here you can test out where your notes are, you know, sounds high and low. I know off by heart that the bassy section of the Green Hill intro basically sounds like or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that. So yeah, I'll start there. And I also have to like get into my head where it's going to start. So obviously you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into a second 1, 2, 3, 4. Hence the numbers 1, 2, and that will carry on across to, you know, 3, 4. You can make them as long and as short as you want. So I want you. If you kind of, each one of these darker lines, imagine is a drum beat. So you know, so I know that this comes in, I believe, just in between the first and second hit. So I would go. In fact, we'll make it sound longer as well. I tend to kind of improvise when it comes to some of the bass, because you know, Music 3000 is quite limited compared to other programs. So that will sound. So if you imagine hearing the over that, and then you'll kind of get it. So that's like the bassy bit that you hear it in the background of the melody. So would you like to keep the changes? Yes, I would. Might make it a bit faster and a bit. You can change the tempo by going here, beats per minute. And also you can change the volume around as well, as you see fit. This upper section here is if you want to create music videos, which I never do because they just take up too much room, and I don't even think they're that good, to be honest. No offense, Chester Interactive. And then I know that the intro section kind of goes, it's just a constant and then you get the kind of thing. It'll all. This probably makes no sense to anybody but me, but you'll get it. So we've had the intro. That's the note I want. So So I'll just put that across like that for one section. So at the moment we've got... Now this... Dun 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 dun. That sounds... That goes on for, I think, another 3. So let me just listen to that again. Yeah. And then there's another 3 of them there. And then in between that we've got the... Yep. And then here, I know that it goes... then goes into the main tune, so let's speed it up a little bit so we can listen to it a bit quicker. So at the moment I've done that is the bass for the whole of the intro that we need, so it currently sounds like this. So that's, it doesn't really sound like a whole lot at the moment, it just sounds a bunch of buzz, you know, but you know, those with a keen ear can probably tell how that would fit in straight away with the intro sections of Green Hill Zone. So let's make, what should we make next? Right, there's a kind of extra bit of melody that fits in here, so I'm going to choose an instrument that may fit. No. Alloy split, that'll do, right. So we want, yep. And you can copy and paste as well. So, and we want that going all the way across. So now we have this. Blah blah blah. So I think next I'm going to have a look at the drums. Now what I tend to do with the drums, because it's really hard to find the correct instruments, I usually use a preset sample and then edit it to how I want it to sound for whatever song I'm making. So let's go for, I usually use the metal drums because they just sound the best. So, big ass crash. No, we want not crash and ride. Loops, that's it. So these are all your standard loops, so there's one you can just put in as it is and it would sound okay. But I don't want to do that, I want to put one in and then edit it. So I usually tend to use something like a Mac beat. No, is it Rich Beat I tend to use? Yeah. Yeah, so that will kind of sound like this. So there's nothing wrong with how that sounds, but it's not quite how the drums in Green Hill sound from what I can remember from memory. So we can click into this and edit it. So the drums in Green Hill tend to go dum tsh, dum dum tsh, dum tsh, dum dum tsh, kind of. Again, apologies for my horrible singing type drum mimicking sounds. So let's delete that. So what's that? Is that in the room kick? Which is what I would rather use. So I'm going to delete the rest of this because we don't need any of that. Deleted. Right. So first, let's copy the in the room kick. In fact, there's just one Stewart snare. So let's listen to that. So we'll copy that 3 times and start at the beginning of each riff. And the last one we'll add an extra snare. So I've now changed it to so that'll do for now. So would you like to save changes? Yes. And I'll add another one there. So it's now so you might be able to kind of tell how it's all starting to fit together, even without the main melody, which I haven't put in yet. So, but I'm also going to add a drum section here for the very first part. So I'll go to rich beat again, a new rich beat, because if you try and copy this and change it again, it will change it for the whole where you've placed that particular rich beat. So always go to a fresh one, and I want it to start at the beginning. So we'll go into this one. Get rid of the live kick, because I don't want the live kick. Get rid of that. And I want this to start at the same place that the bass starts, which is in between the first and second hits. And this it's hard to explain, but I just having listened to the song so many times, I know I've got a good idea where it all kind of fits together. So you just have to kind of bear with me on that and just trust the little work. So for the intro, it's there we go. I'll move that up there to make it symmetrical. And I might add a couple of big crashes in. There and there, so and I might add some little like Busy Ride, for example. Might add something like, you know, that in as well to sort of accentuate the drums maybe, but at the moment I'm happy with that. So next I think we need to make the you know, the famous melodic opening for Green Hell Zone. So let's do that. So we'll click here where we want it to start. Let's pick another instrument. So I'm back in melody again. Something fluted. Nah. Can't remember what I used to use. Soft key. Square lead. Could use that actually. We'll use that for now just to speed things up a bit. So yep, so we want to start there. Oops. These come in quite quick, so that's why I'm putting them so close together. Nope. Oops. So you know, there's the. But it also carries on and kind of fades out, which I can do on this, so I'll do that as well. So, oops. This can be a time-consuming process, but it will sound, you know, decent when it's put together. So we'll do about that many. So at the moment it sounds like this. What we do now, what I tend to do, there might be a quick way of doing this, I don't know, I haven't really looked into it. But each note, if you click onto it, so each one is currently set at 70%. So if I was to decrease this all the way down to, we'll go for 5%, apply changes, and then go to this one and reduce it to 10%. There we go, and then just keep building up till we get to 70. So we'll go to 15%. 20%. 25%. So bear with me, I'll get through this as quickly as I can. I'm probably going to have to do this in separate parts as well, so it doesn't drag on too long for one video. So where are we? 30%, yeah, 30, 25, yep. So 35. So this is the bit that can be a bit of a ball ache. You have to really like be in the mood to use Music 3000 to do this kind of thing. So 40%, 45, blah blah blah. 50%. 3 more to do, I think. 55. Oops. 60. Nearly there. And 65. There we go. So now it should sound like this. There we go, we get a fade out. So yep, we would like to keep those changes, so here's how it sounds now. So there you go, it's kind of starting to sound like the song now. So let's go ahead now and make the main melody. Which I actually make in chords. So let's find an instrument suitable for this. No. Fin Digital, that'll do. Right, so this is the you know, etc. Excuse me. Right, okay, where do we need to start? So it's yep. And I know this lasts for, because I've made this song so many times and different remixes of it. There's a video on my YouTube channel, check it out. Music 3000 Green Hill Zone Special. I know off by heart that these first notes last for up to the up to there. So do 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 do, and then it goes do do, which are we'll make them shorter than I normally make them actually. So let's show you how that sounds. There you go. No, lower down. And then that lasts all the way up to the end of the fourth riff. That currently sounds like this. Bum 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 bum. And I actually caught this up a bit, so I really apologise if I'm not explaining this too well. I'm hoping that by you actually watching this, or people actually watching this, they can see more of how I'd create these songs rather than me trying to explain it verbally, because it's quite difficult to explain if you're not sure how to, create things by just listening to them like by ear, as they say. It's a difficult thing to explain. I just kind of know which notes I want, and having used this program for a while, I just know where things go for, well, in particular for songs that I've made before. So there you go, I've added a double chord to that. And we'll add a third part. It's trial and error, basically. I initially played the original music game for PS1, and that's where all of this kind of started for me. Oops. Actually, in my Mario Kart trivia video, I actually mentioned that music was the only subject at school I got an A star in my GCSE, and a lot of that was just me improvising on the keyboard and playing things by ear, so it all kind of comes from there. So here we go. Now I've actually made that sound a bit too minor, so I'm going to have to delete that bit. I think, anyway, I don't know, actually, it might sound okay. We'll test that anyway. Let's put it back in. Sorry. Sorry, my D-pad's a bit funny on this controller I'm using. So let's see how that... Let's try it anyway. Right, 3, 2, 1. That works alright, that's fine. What am I talking about? What do I know? So then the extra bit that comes after that is the the so we'll make that now. So that lasts up until there. To actually paste all these notes in, what you have to do is on the PS2 analog controller, you have to hold down on the on the right analog stick and sort of drag it across. You can use the D-pad as well if your D-pad's working well, which mine isn't. Excuse me. So that repeats itself for another riff, so I'm going to copy that. Copy that. That should sound okay. So here's how the whole section sounds. On 10. There we go. So that lasts for exactly 8 bars, I should say. So if you see these numbers at the top, so this lasts, I'm doing 4/4 scale, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it all matches up. So let's listen to what we have so far. There we go. That is the intro to Green Hill Song made from scratch by myself, just to show you how I make music in Music 3000. I'm going to end the video here, but I'll continue making the song. I'll do a part 2 and if need be a part 3, etc. And then we'll listen to the whole song at the end and then you can judge it for yourself. So thanks for watching this. I hope it's been informative if not entertaining. So thank you very much for that, and join me in part 2 of this.